didn't even ask for. And it was like the,
Okay, we have computer problems here, internet or Facebook problems or something. And so this is a part 2 of the same gathering for December. And if you'd like a copy of the Wholistic Care blog, you can either go to my website, www.meeting-ike-series.weebly.com, go to blogs, scroll down to the Wholistic Care, or send me a message and I can send you a PDF copy of it. So we're just going around and sharing how this relates to us and what really hit home with us.
Another day.
Oh, look at that job. Yeah, that's true. It's like tomorrow it'll still be there, but I can take care of it tomorrow because I might feel better about it doing it tomorrow, And now I'm learning now because I'm leaving and I have to have things done in my house, which my house is already done. But it's like I had this lady come over to my house the other day because I thought I wanted to have somebody to just go after I clean it. I want somebody to come in and kind of go over it, just whatever. Just to make me feel better about it before the tenants come. And this lady came and made it sound like my house was a dump. And so I was like, or that it was filthy, and I was like, what? And it's like, didn't say anything. And she said, I'll take $175 to do this and all this. And so anyways, I go like, okay. I didn't say anything.
Hit the brick.
And then I said to her, well, what if I don't change the bed and I want you to change the bed and wash the sheets and put them in the thing, wash the sheets. She goes, well, that'll be $250. And I go, okay. So my friend came by right after the lady had left. And I go, well, Patty, I said, this lady just came and said that she had to charge me $175 to clean this house. And if I wanted her to put the sheets on the bed, it was $250. And she goes, tell that lady to go, where. She said, this house is clean. She said, what, is she crazy? And I said, she was touching everything. She was touching all the surfaces, but she didn't seem to come up with anything dirty on her hands. But she just kept saying that. And I said, I was just like, I felt like after she left, it's like, oh my God, I guess I better really, do some stuff around here. She goes, no, leave it alone. She goes, your house is clean, leave it alone. And so I was telling my other friend Sue, and she said the same thing. She goes, that lady is nuts. But it's, whatever. So like I tell my husband,
price is nuts.
Yeah, the price is
Oh, yeah.
there.
Yeah.
On the size of the houses that we have in here, I mean, unless you've got an exceptional.
I don't. I have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath.
Yeah, right.
And everything is always in order all the time,
Yeah.
And so I said, well, I told my husband this morning, I said, and my friend said, I'll come over and help you clean your house because your house is always clean. But I said, no, I'm just don't even bother. Every day I'm gonna do something different, just to make myself feel better and know that, I just to make myself feel better, I'm gonna do it.
Well, and the personality types, the two of you, probably if you hired her to do it, you'd still go over it.
Yeah, well, that's true, because last year before I left, and I was only here 2 months, I actually had everything done. We didn't leave until late in the day, so everything was completely done in the house. And the only thing that needed to be done was the oven needed to be turned on to do the self-cleaning oven thing. But everything else was cleaned. Everything was put, in fact, before we took showers, before we left, I took the towels with me, the dirty towels with me. I didn't even leave them, And so I took those with me. Everything was clean. And so I called I asked another lady. I gave her the code to get into the house. And she came in and she says, it's $250 to clean this house. This was last year. This was
crazy.
Laura's cleaning service.
It
was Laura's cleaning service. She was recommended on Nextdoor at Watt. And so I thought, so she says $250. And so I texted her back and I said, are you sure? And she said, yes. She said, best I could do is $225 and it'll be nice and clean. And I said, okay, thanks. So I called my niece and lives in Newport Richey. And I said, will you go down to the house? Now we had left at the end because I had to go back to school.
How are you feeling during all of this in relation to the paper here and stuff? So what type of reactions and what type of responses, what's happening inside of you?
Well, I feel, I feel stressed,
But when they said it was that one woman said it wasn't clean and it was a mess and here you cleaned it and your friend said that it was nice and clean. And when that woman had said that, where did you feel that?
Well, I wasn't sure. I mean, I kind of felt to myself, maybe I really need to do more here. You see, maybe there's something I'm missing.
So
or
you're
possibly-
learning to doubt
That's my
you're
feeling.
doubting yourself.
I was doubting
because of the
myself.
From a
external-
stranger.
From a
Yeah,
stranger.
a stranger, yeah.
So
And I was
you're
like,
letting
well, I better, maybe
somebody,
there's something I'm missing, although I knew I didn't think the lady was right because she was putting her hand on all the surfaces and and everything was already clean. And so she wasn't picking anything up on her fingers when she did it in the bedroom on the dresser or anything, or when she did it on the tables in the living room or anything. So I'm thinking to myself, but she made me feel uncomfortable, I guess.
in your own home.
In my house. She made me feel comfortable, and she was going like in between, like there was a couch and a love seat, and there's a table there, and she went behind, and she goes, you see, she goes, this needs to be cleaned back here, and there was nothing back there.
I would have kicked her out of my
And
house.
so I was like,
Yeah.
So you got somebody that's that, like over here talking about somebody who takes and takes and takes. Well, what she's doing is she's taking from within you,
right,
and so she's, trying to establish something there for her own self.
game,
So she's violating boundaries
Yeah.
and respect of somebody else.
Well, I'm not gonna use her, I mean, there's no way, because as far as I'm concerned, that's really too much money. I mean, it's not so much money in the fact that she, what she wants money, to do her job. She had to do the whole job. If I just walked out of there and didn't do a thing, I can understand that. If I didn't do a thing, but, because when I have it rented through a rental company, they have somebody come in for $145 to do it. And
Yeah.
even after I clean, they still have them anyway. But like I said, I just am she made me uncomfortable in my own house. It made me doubt myself. And you're right. That's why I'm thinking, well, I need to make a list. And so every day I need to do things to make sure that I feel, when I leave here.
Don't you
With
feel
what you-
abused?
Huh?
Don't you feel abused?
In a sense, I
Yeah.
do, and I feel disrespected, I guess, is really how it is, because, you go to somebody's house and you're telling them, their house is not clean, but yet it is clean, and looking in a spot like, on the floor there, and there's like nothing there, but yet she's seeing something you don't see.
So you have the inner strength where somebody else might not be able to just listen aloud, but
Right,
not ask her and not cut her off and say thank
No,
you for
I was
coming
very
by
polite.
and then having her leave. But, you let her stay,
yeah.
but still when she left, you didn't fall for her trap and you didn't let her
No,
suck you into
no.
it to take
That's
and
good.
take and take from you. Because if she's doing that to you, she's doing it to
With
other people. And that's that whole thing about taking, and we need to be able to not only, accept when people give us, buy our lunch or give us a compliment or something else, but know the boundary of you came into my zone here and you're violating it.
Right, right.
And so you didn't allow her to talk you into the making a deal with her.
No, not at
So
all.
that's good, yeah.
Good
So,
for you.
but yeah, I mean, cutting her off, over here, as Pauline was saying, I think that you could have certainly have done that.
I was very
And,
polite, and I let her go through and say what she wanted to say and blah, 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 and then she left. And I said, okay, thank you very much. She goes, now, you can leave the check right here on the table, she said to me, and when you call me, then let me know, and you could leave the check right here for me, when I'll come and I'll take it when I clean. I go, okay, fine. I just left it like that,
Wow.
so.
And it's sad that there are people out there because you got older clientele
Well,
around here where they're gonna be taken advantage of.
That's what my
so,
friend said,
yeah.
and one of my friends said, she said, that's like elder abuse, she said,
Yeah.
because
It is.
she's a young girl, and she I'm sure there are probably other older people that need some work done or whatever, and she was gonna take advantage,
Yeah.
so I was like,
And that would be that taker, going back to that and needing
Yeah.
to be able to put that boundary line and saying no and sticking to that, so, but thank you for sharing
You're
that.
welcome.
And now for you too.
Sandy.
Sandy came in late, and here is a paper, basically what we're talking about is how we tend to forget how to take care of ourselves and how we will take care of and do for everybody else. And we don't watch what's going on and we'll go do things just to get it done. And we always have excuses about why we do it. And then I touched on, is it better to give than to receive? We have all been taught that from we were very young, but we also have to remember in order for us to give, somebody has to receive. And in order for somebody else to give, we need to be able to feel comfortable in receiving, which a lot of people don't. Whether it's compliments, whether it's a lunch out, whether it's, somebody brings some groceries by, a cake, whatever, just a little gift. And we don't seem to feel comfortable with it. Somebody gave to us, oh my goodness, why did you do that? And now I've got to do something for them. No, just graciously accept it. You deserve it. You're worth it. And then after that is that, but what about those who take and take and take, and they're too lazy or they're just cons, I'd have to say, and practice saying no. You're doing it for not only for yourself, but that other person as well, for keeping the boundaries, and that's giving them a great gift. So we need balance on our levels. So it's, because we meet when we gather together about different metaphysical and spiritual topics. But we need to remember too that there's a balance of everything, and holistic care, self-care for ourselves, we tend to put that on the back burner. But that's part of the whole balance, because we have the spiritual, we've got the soul and the spiritual, and all the other aspects of the emotional, psychological parts of our physical parts of ourselves. So in order to be able to be more in tune with ourselves inside, that spiritual, we need to be able to have that strength and know, because the different chakras, you've got fear down here in the lower chakras and the heart and different things. So we need to be able to feel our own strength, our own power, and be able to give and receive freely, in order to be able to have more balance, so that we do give out more spiritually. And so we went around to say, what is it, what area do you find that you need to work on? What hit home with you about this paper here? This is actually from a blog of my one website that I had done last year. And so we were going around sharing different things that we could relate to. So being able to do that is a great gift for ourselves. So that's a shortened version of reading this whole thing. But for you, do you find that you give too much and you don't feel comfortable accepting from other people? Are you comfortable in accepting compliments, gifts, and different things from people? And how do you use self-care in your life that you can share with others, so that we all can learn how to better take care of ourselves and our boundaries?
Okay, well, I'm a lot better at all these things than I used to be. And one thing that helped that was COVID, for all things, because before COVID hit, I was doing a lot of things, going out all the time and running around doing things. I was getting tired and maybe a little bit resentful about some of this stuff, but I always was a people pleaser. I always wanted to do what other people thought I should do. And, well, I got to pull back on that. I got to stop it. When COVID hit, I had a perfect excuse. I didn't have to go out anywhere. I didn't have to do anything I didn't want to do. And that was great. I was having a great old time just staying home. And I don't know how many people felt that way.
No, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So after when things started getting more loose, and I had to do things, I would pick and choose what I really, really wanted to do, not just what everybody else thought I should do. So now that's what I do. I don't do anywhere near as much as I used to, and what I do, I enjoy a lot. And that's good. And I also, as far as cleaning the house, I used to have to clean everything perfectly every week, and I was in knots half the time. Now, I have a cleaning lady once a month, and I pick up in between, and that's it. And if it's not perfect, oh well, too bad. And so I've gotten a lot better at relaxing and being comfortable with what I want to do. I still give to other people, I help out when I can and all that, but not to the extent that I used to, where I wear myself out.
Do you find that you've been able to receive more also?
Yeah, that's getting better. Before I had a really hard time with that, but not so much anymore. I'm getting older, my health is going down, there's this and that and the other going on, and okay, I earned it. I'm getting older and I have to slow down, and so they gotta pitch in more, that's it.
And do you find that you're asking or they're offering to pitch in and help?
Me or somebody else, what do you mean?
You said that you're not doing so much for other people and that you need help. Are you finding that those that you're getting help from, are they offering the help or are you asking for the help?
Well, one thing that happened earlier this year is my son moved in with me. Okay, so
That's a big
I
change.
let him do a lot of things that I used to do. It's very nice.
Very good.
Yeah, that's one.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You're
lucky.
Now, how does that feel for the rest of you, allowing somebody else to move into the house, number one, your space, and they're there every day, but then they are taking care of, I don't know what they are,
He cooks,
dishes,
he fixes
cleaning,
the
or.
car, he, cleans up if I ask him, whatever I ask him to do, he does.
So you
Wow.
ask him, and does he
Sometimes.
initiate it on his own?
Sometimes he initiates, sometimes I ask.
Okay.
Tell him what's going on with the car, he'll go tear it apart and fix it.
It's nice.
How old
Save me a
is
lot of
he and
money.
is he single?
Actually, he is, yes. Want to meet him? No. Yeah, and so, a few things have happened, to make me more peaceful and more willing to take care of myself.
Now, have you found your relationship has changed since he's moved in and he's doing more things than what he used to do and you're doing less?
Yeah, he has more of an attitude of taking care of me and being concerned about me. Where before, I was the strong one always, had to do everything, but not so much. So yeah, he's stepping in. And my daughters too, and my grandchildren. I used to do Thanksgiving dinner every year, and now I find it hard to stand by the stove for long periods because my back is not good. And so I'd rather not do that anymore. So now my grandson out in Winter Haven is doing it, and boy, he does a great job.
That's good.
So it
Yeah.
sounds like you have a blessed life going on.
Yes.
I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
like, how'd you do that?
Why would I do what?
I said, it sounds like you have a very blessed life all of a sudden with everybody coming
Suddenly.
around and.
Maybe it's karma, like Ann says here. Maybe things are coming back.
Yeah, Sandy used to give to them all the time,
Exactly.
and not all that long ago, so it's good that they recognize that and they're giving back.
Right.
I'm proud of you that you raised them that way.
Yeah.
So it's
You're
good for
giving them
them.
the freedom in order to give.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they weren't able to give before because you were doing everything.
Right, and they accept it, they expected me to do that,
Mhm.
but now I let them know, can't do all that.
So
anymore.
the last thing here is that, and that's the greatest gift you can give one another, right at the end, the last thing. And so, going back to the beginning when you and I were talking, Vicki, about, you just said that, this was me spot on, is that, and I'll use my own, in my own home, my husband's the type that, he works hard, I work a lot too, and is that, he doesn't do it, more falls on my plate. And so I've been learning to say, here, you can do this, or here, this needs to be done. And so it's, because you get tired, you get tired and then you just feel, like you're saying, you can't stand over to be able to make the food so much. And I just look at it, there are times that it comes to be like 11 o'clock in the morning, 11:30 in the morning, and I'm tired, thinking I need a nap already.
Right.
Or else I realize, oh my God, I'm still in my pajamas, I haven't gotten washed and dressed yet, and I've done all these things, plus I've been on the computer working, because I work from home. And so I realized that, okay, no, the gift I can give to myself is get up in the morning, get washed, get dressed, and put on some makeup if I, which really changes things, too, is that then go about and doing things. And even like taking care of, because we have 2 cats and a big dog, is that they can wait until I'm awake enough and I'm doing some things before I, take care of them. So,
I have a question for you,
yes.
because you go in 1,000 different directions.
It appears to be.
Well, my question is there one thing of all these thousands of things that you do that you really like the most, that you could concentrate on and get rid of all this other stuff?
Well, that's why I took Meeting Life Series, I changed the name of the products to Wholistic Care Products, and bringing something else in the springtime is under the umbrella of Mind, Body, Spirit Creations.
Mm-hmm.
So that way it's offerings underneath there instead of having everything separate. And I'm in the creating mode, and I know that it'll be like that for about another year with that stuff to get it all organized where I want it. And so once it's like that, it'll just be able to flow more. Right now, it's just that building, restructuring and everything, and it's very frustrating for me because it's like I feel like I'm doing and redoing and redoing. I love writing. I haven't written on the book series in a long time that I have coming up. I love doing that, but I can't sit like that. I'm a doer, getting up, physically doing stuff. So I need the distraction of being able to do something else physical. I see people sitting there and I go, get up off and go and do something. How do you sit there for so long? How do you lay there? How do you not do anything? And so I want to get everything, like I'm going to be going over to record classes and courses and put them up on udemy.com. That'll be available 24/7. So that's a passive income. And the books would be a passive income once they get published, And I've got some merchandise and some products. And I've cut down a lot on what products I offer. And I'll be cutting down some more, changing some things. That's why I changed the name. The merchandise, I have a couple of games and a couple of intuition development tools, kind of like in the forms of game idea, that once it's designed and that's created and made, then it's done, it just, that's done. It just have to order and print out whatever more for that. So a lot of it will be more just ordering because it's done. I think the biggest thing is going to be a couple pieces, different things of the merchandise I might, and then with the products, I really want to start pushing more of the like the flower essences and things like that. So I'm getting rid of some things.
I have a question for you and anyone else, but motivation. What motivates us? Like, what motivates you to always have to be doing something? What motivates you? Like you were talking about, all these different things you do are all also income making things.
Yes.
So I guess my question is, what if that did not exist?
What if
What if,
needing to
what
have an
if-
income?
no, what if the income part ceased? There was absolutely no income building possibilities with what you do. Then, is there one thing or two things that you would still do just because you love doing it? I mean, what do you love doing? Not what you are trying to build. I know you're trying to build a retirement base from what I understand. Yeah. And so if that was non-existent in your life and you won the lottery, say, okay, you win the lottery tomorrow, you got $100 billion.
Good with that.
And so, you know, would you
Still there.
want to do this chump change stuff, or would you be satisfied with only doing, what things would you continue
That's a
doing?
very
That's
good
a very
question.
good
I think
question.
she loves to do these things though.
Well, yes, she does, but there's also a back
Yeah,
door
there is.
area there that is making her be more creative.
I see the value in the natural products they make for the body because I have had it up to here with the crap that's, excuse me, Facebook, the crap that's out, you know, that people are using that is toxic for the body. When we have all these natural healthy alternatives, and again, the alternatives isn't it, you know, the core things that how we used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old fashioned stuff
Yeah, the
before all
real
the
stuff.
crap came
Yeah,
into
yeah.
being, yeah.
So I see the value in that, and I want that in my life, and I want that for the people around me because I care for people around me, and I want them to be healthy. I've just some people, I've lost some people recently, and unnecessarily, and that hurts. And I don't want, you know, I want people that are in my life around me and others to be okay and healthy. And this is one of the ways to do it. I like teaching, you know, working with the kids and the teenagers. So I like doing that. And I like writing. You know, I love creating the books and stuff. So that's a big thing for me. I enjoy that. So if I won you know, a lot of money,
Yeah.
I know that I will continue to write and produce the books. I know that I would push in doing with the kids because, you know, how, and I don't want to make this sound political, but, you know, how kids are being taught these days.
Right,
And they aren't being taught
right.
that inner part and that creative part and that spiritual part and all of that. So that's very important to me. I would want to continue, you know, and expand that.
So
The products that would be
in
making,
your products, you would have the money to actually go into a manufacturing type of thing and compete with all these people that have preservatives and stuff in their products.
I would probably
Would you do
do
that?
something like putting it out there, the recipes, formulas for free, pushing that out, like even in book form, people could buy whatever and make their own. Because the idea of major corporation, and I'm all for capitalism, I'm fine with that, because go make money. I mean, you know, make money, get rich, I don't care, but you know, not walk all
$100
over.
billion, you don't need to make any money.
And,
So it'd be a nonprofit, right? Yeah.
so it's just that the thing of way corporations are set up and things that I'm not, it would have to be different. Like I always thought, I liked the idea of employees as owners too, you know?
Yeah.
So stuff like that, so that
Well,
everybody
what's
had a
that
share of the
company?
business, so I like
Publix
that.
is like that.
Well, before
Publix
Publix,
aren't
because I
they-
was in Michigan,
They
so.
have, Publix, years ago, we met this young lady that worked for Publix, and my husband said something about how Publix employees, because we don't have Publix where we live, but we saw them in Nashville, and she said, well, we're all owners, basically, of the
But aren't they
company.
union?
I don't know, no.
I thought they were
don't know.
union.
That's Kroger, that's union, but she
stock
said
or
that they were, we own the company, it's like an employee-based company somehow. And she said, so that's why we strive to do good customer service, because it benefits us in the long run. So somehow like
Yeah,
that.
but I thought they and
But there are some
others
companies.
were union, and I have to say, unions have been perfect. They really needed to be all those years ago, but I think that
They've
because
had
we've got laws now set in place.
Yeah, I agree,
that-
I mean,
So I don't wanna get political and
No.
stuff and get
I
off
know.
topic as to what this gathering is
I
about.
know about 30 or 40 years ago, I remember hearing of a company, and it
was-
seems like it was in Iowa or something. But it's a company that is absolutely every single person that joins is an owner.
Owner.
I mean, if they get hired, they're all owners and they all profit from the business doing good. And I always thought that was an excellent
is.
way
It
to
is
set
a
up
very
a
good way.
business.
Good motivator.
And
Make
see,
it
the
like-
I wanted to share-
unification on that right here, that idea is that it speaks to the, for me, is a unity and it makes it like how we give and take and all of that
Right.
in with everything, so it needs to have that balance again, and being able to, the fairness and the respect and honoring others, with that. So that's what I'm hearing from everybody with that. Using, me as an example, because I do a few different things.
Right.
And that's what I put under the umbrella of Mind, Body, Spirit Creations is, it has to resonate with that inner part of you. And when we feel badly about when we're doing something for somebody else, or they're taking from us, or we're not getting what we need, we're not getting fulfilled, we feel that in different levels of our body, even different chakras, even different parts with our energy field, our aura, auric field and things. So which can turn into like an acid or an acidic or alkaline more body and everything. So when we're out of balance like that, we know that we're not living or into our answering to our true what we're resonating, should be resonating. And so we feel out of balance and uncomfortable in our own home.
Right.
And, but yeah, so for me, business oriented and service to others, but in ways, unlike that cleaning person, I couldn't go to someone's home and do that. I used to have a business years ago where it was, I would bring in businesses and I would go in to do some work also. It would be repair, reconstruction, cleaning, clean outs, things like that. And I could no more go into someone's home and tell them that it's going to be an excessive amount of money to clean their already clean home. I would actually feel a bit awkward telling them, well, geez, really, you want a price on this? Your house is clean.
Yeah,
So
I had a girlfriend that did cleaning. That's what she did for a living. And there was places that she would go in to give them an estimate and she'd say, I'm sorry, I cannot clean your home. Your home is too dirty.
yes,
It would
there's
take
that
too
too.
much time and cost you too much money for me to exert my time and energy to get you where you should be.
Wow.
So I'm sorry,
So
I
she was
cannot do it.
uncomfortable.
And she would leave.
Huh, so I had
Let
regular,
somebody else.
She was honest.
I had
do it,
regular and deep cleaning, and we would go in to do the estimate. And depending on what was going on and what was needed to be done, and I would also recommend, okay, I can't do this, but I have this company that they come in and do it. And, here are what their rates are, and here's what they'll do, and everything else. So I'd bring companies in to do stuff that I couldn't do, such as moved out, people had moved out, it was a rental, and they had pets, and I can't remember, dog or cat, and they had heat and, in the house. And so they needed some more remediation, and so would bring in businesses to do that. But yeah,
Well, and I used to go with her because she did a couple different companies. She took care of all their rentals when they moved out. We'd go in and get it back up to snuff. And I really learned a lot from her because a professional cleaner has all these tips and little secret things that they use and do that are amazing.
Yeah.
So I learned a great deal. I don't do them, but because I'm really easy to set. My biggest reward in my life came when I started doing meditations for other people in need. And I spend a half an hour to an hour every day, and I meditate for those that need it, or the world, or whatever. But I do this every single day, and it's not so much what they get, it's the rewards that I get from doing that keeps me every day. I mean, I don't know half the time whether anyone has received any benefit or not, you know. I mean, I hear about somebody, they're on my list, whatever, but I meditate every day for the highest and best for whatever the situation is. But I'm receiving, it's a gift to me. And so you might want to start doing that.
That's true.
Start meditating, because if you spend a half an hour just meditating, you're doing it for other people, but you're the one receiving.
That's true. That's true.
And
Yeah.
that's where I was gonna actually wrap up, is that doing some type of inner work is meditation. I hold a lot of guided meditation classes for kids. That woman with the cleaning, she had boundaries.
Yes.
And she wasn't interested or want to go into a deep cleaning. So she had boundaries and she stuck to them, which is great for her.
It wasn't deep cleaning. She did deep cleaning. It was the amount of dirt. She did not clean. She only cleaned a certain clientele's desire for their home.
Oh, okay.
I guess that's the best way to put it, is that, you know, your house, she would clean your house, but she wouldn't clean mine. So that's the difference.
That's funny.
She didn't want to go into any detail because there's certain things, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, and besides that, if you've got a person that doesn't keep a clean house, well, obviously, they're not motivated to keep it clean.
Right, that's
so
true.
If she goes in and cleans, she's spending extra time, extra energy to get it up where it's supposed to be in her mind. And then she leaves and they have her come back 2 weeks, a month, and she's got to go through it again.
That's what they
So
pay her for.
unless they have a clean house, she didn't take on the job.
That's funny. Okay, so bringing up the meditation, that's a great thing. So where we've listened to everybody talk about areas that hit home with us, with that. And so hearing other people's stories and knowing that, you know, we've all been exposed to and have done to some degree of, you know, mindfulness, meditation, you know, just zoning out even, listening to meditation music, taking some yoga or Tai Chi or something like that. So what tools would you say would be something that you could incorporate to now work on that part of accepting compliments, of, you know, doing more for not doing?
That's true. You're on the right track, though.
I'm not feeling badly when somebody tries telling you your home isn't clean,
I know.
but you know it is, you know, for those type of things. So for me, I did have, and he was so great, and it was embarrassing, and to admit it is embarrassing too, is that, you know, I hold the guided meditation classes, I teach about meditation, and he's the palmist. And he looked at my hand, and he said, "But you're not practicing what you preach." And it was true, because I've been so busy that I haven't been taking the time, or have not been taking the time to meditate, because, and then I started to do that, because I know I need it, and I fall asleep. I go, okay, well, I must need sleep more right now, so I'm gonna give into that, and I'm not gonna feel bad that I can't meditate. And so when I do meditate, like I teach my students, is that even if it's a couple of minutes, even if it's for 5 minutes, even if it's just to zone out and let go of everything, start there and do that, you know, and you can build upon that. And so again, using tools in the metaphysical, spiritual realm of the tools that we have, not feeling badly of not obtaining that goal the way that they say it should be. So what about for you?
Okay, well, about 40 years ago, I wanted to share this, 45 years ago, who knows. I lived in Lansing, Michigan, and there was a store downtown, And so on breaks and stuff, I go down there, and it was a subliminal store, a subliminal tape store. The guy's actually, he was from Florida. His daughter evidently still has the business, but I went in there and I heard a tape playing one day, and I really liked the music. And I says, I really like that music. I'd like that tape. And he said, well, what area do you want the tape for? And I went, I just like the music. And he says, well, that particular tape is for self-confidence.
Ah,
He says, I have, hundreds and hundreds of different topics and different tapes. And I said, well, I want that tape. I don't care. I want the music. That's what I want. And he said, oh, okay. So I bought the tape, and I had a auto reverse player. So I used to play that when I go to bed at night. Now I had horrible self-confidence. People didn't necessarily know it, but if somebody, if I had something that somebody said, oh, I like that top on you, I'd say, oh, this old thing, I've had it for years, or, oh, this, my mom gave me this, whatever, she didn't like it, whatever. I'd always make an excuse to take away from the compliment. So I'm listening to this tape every night when I go to bed, listening to this music, really enjoying the music. And one day I had this dress on at work, and I'm going down the hallway on my way to a meeting, and somebody went by me and they said, oh, Vicki, I really like that dress on you. The colors and everything really go well with you. And I said, well, thank you. And I went, good for you.
nice.
What in the world? I just accepted a compliment?
Who am I?
And the only thing was that for about a month, I'd been listening to that tape. So if somebody out there needs something, they may consider a subliminal tape
I see.
that gives you the
fantastic.
messages you need.
Right.
Yeah, subliminal
Because
is
that
really
changed
great.
my life.
I didn't know they still had that. I didn't
either.
I hadn't heard of subliminal stuff for years.
Well, they do it on television, behind movies, commercials. and
Yeah, I guess
everything
they do,
else.
really.
Yeah.
I mean, they say it's
I
marketing.
hear Walmart has
Yeah.
the music and stuff have, and I don't know that. I'm not saying that Walmart does, but somebody told me that once, and I
It's
don't know how
alleged that.
honest they were. But anyway, yeah, so you buy more.
Yes. Well, I heard this a long time ago, that country music, back in my young years, and I would bartend, and one place I worked, there was a country rock type music. And he would play country music because he had learned from studies, it made people drink more, because it made them depressed.
That makes sense.
So, ding, ding, cry, ding, ding. So that was his thing, and I thought, well, that's not admirable, but okay. Way to use it against somebody, but yeah, so subliminal is a fantastic tool.
What, do they sell CDs, you think, or?
I don't know, you know what, I've still got the tape at home
Yeah, but who can play
somewhere,
tape
on a
anymore?
little cassette. And so I'll look and I'll find it and see what the name of the company is. Because I believe that they're in Sarasota or Fort Myers,
Oh, wow.
somewhere
Maybe
down
on
in there.
Alexa you can get subliminal
So-
music.
But they did an excellent
Yeah.
job. This
Try it.
particular company and
We'll
this
try it
man that
Saturday.
developed all this
See if it
subliminal
works.
stuff was very, very
That is a
effective.
good, that's
If
painless.
it gets
Just
through my
turn it on
stubborn
and
head, it'll get
Yeah.
through me.
You can just download it on YouTube too, and then just wear headphones and lay down.
For subliminal,
Oh, they got
I
all
thought,
kinds of
I
stuff.
didn't know that.
yeah, but
Thank you.
subliminal, these particular tapes have certain frequencies
Well,
and
so does this.
Versus
You can download like the Mother Earth's, the vibration of the universe and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the sound.
I mean, you can download anything. You don't have to have tapes
Really?
anymore. You can just get it
Right.
on YouTube.
Because I don't know who has a tape player. Do you still have one?
Yeah, I have one of everything.
I don't have a tape player.
I have a VCR, I have a cassette, I got it. The only thing. You got an 8-track player?
It's got
No, I
an
don't
8-track.
have an 8-track.
I need to have a subliminal tape that says, oh, you're gonna stop eating and you're going to, and you're gonna go exercise more.
They got
Oh,
to.
I missed the way.
And everything. I just
So how about you,
constantly wore
Colleen?
Tibetan. I listened
What have
to
you
chanting
found?
by the Tibetan monks.
I listen to a lot of
Especially
symphony
the
music.
universal.
I really enjoy my Alexa with the Boston
Just
Symphony.
different things, and that's why I learned Latin.
I don't know if it's music that I remember as
No,
a
it's
child.
like super soul
Is
Sunday.
it Bach or is it Mozart or is it?
Yeah.
Okay, because they
Yeah,
say
so you
that
can do
they,
anything with the
with their
headphones.
music,
You
it
wirelessly?
does do something with our brains. And so, absolutely, so yes, you found something, again, like, so you heard music, even though it's the message behind it that you needed and wanted,
Yeah.
is that you're drawn to that, and that actually does something.
You know, I think all of us have changed since COVID started.
Right.
And I think we've all made a lot of changes.
Figure that
And
out.
I know, I can just watch so much news on television and books on the television, bullshit all day. And I'll have to put music on, I can't handle it anymore.
He's a big news person, or television person, and I'm like, give me music, so, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Or
It's
just
too late,
quietness.
everything.
Yes,
Just quietness.
That's true. Take the time to.
And I've got to get my eyes back so I can read again because I haven't been able to read for a few weeks. But I will.
Okay, so, Boston Symphony and Subliminal, and how about you? Let me turn this on.
Well, I do subliminal, and I was just telling her the YouTube ones, and then I just started to see her for the first time in my life.
Oh, great.
Working on those tapes that have not been kind to me for my life. So, yeah, that's been doing really well. I've always wanted to see a hypnotist, and I found her on TEDx, if you guys listen to any TEDx talks. And so I listened to her and several times before I called, so, yeah. So.
And how long have you been doing that?
I've only had 4 sessions. I'm doing it for my immune system. Very low immunity system. I'm immunocompromised now after brain surgery. So I don't know. I feel better, and
Well, that's good.
there's different. I don't cry as much, and I don't know why that is, but I'm going through some stuff I didn't know that was even conscious during these, and so it's been really, really helpful on many levels that I can't even explain.
So there's part of you is drawn to knowing what's good for healing for you,
Yes.
which I think that we do if we listen, because we do need to be able to tune in to ourselves or just allow that voice that, they say that inner voice within and that subconscious, that higher part of ourselves, people have a lot of different names for it, but we know we have all the truths inside of us and we're drawn to what's going to be best for us, that works for us. So great.
Yeah, so I do that, and I do another lady who I've seen for years who's got access to the other side, who helps just with body stuff, putting the auric field back in, and just that kind of stuff.
Nice.
I think it's expensive.
Yeah.
And so the subliminal on YouTube is excellent.
Yeah. YouTube's fantastic. And so now we can.
Well, what I'm drawn to mostly, I think, is sound healing. I love it. I love bowls. I can sit at the computer, put that on the YouTube and just sit there and listen to the sound. It's just so good for me. I don't know. I just feel like I've actually accomplished something that was good for my body and my mind when I listen to the sound healing. That's what I like the most.
You said your body and your mind. Is it your physical body or energetically? Which do you think you're feeling it more in, or have you paid
You know,
attention?
when I really listen to it, you get that vibration comes through and it just goes from all the way down your body. And I don't know how to describe that, but what you're asking, but.
Well, because we have the aura, the energy field, and then we have our physical body, supposedly physical, but just wondering if which one do you feel it more in, or which one do you notice it in more?
Physical body.
The physical? Okay, all
So your
right.
chakra system.
It's
Well, that
really-
would be an energetic, yeah, but the body itself?
Yes,
Okay,
it just feels good
So your
going
cells-
down, and when we have a meeting, we had a woman who played bowls recently, and it was like, it felt so good, and I was like, don't stop,
Right.
Mhm.
you know? So if I got a source like the YouTube, where you can pull up a lot of different ones, you know, it feels like I can go to that and make myself feel better.
Nice, very
I
nice.
like that option. But now I'm gonna do the subliminal too. I'm gonna figure out how to get to that. Cause I think that would be very helpful.
And for you?
I think the meditation, as Vicki suggested, would probably be a good thing for me to try to make me take some time to say, okay, I have to block this time out for me to meditate, and I meditate for other people, which I do that to a certain degree, but on a smaller scale, on a daily basis, on a smaller scale. I don't take an hour or 2 hours. It's a lot smaller and shorter, but I will do that, and I say, this is my time, and help me to relax more. And hopefully that will help me to calm down and relax.
Okay. And what type of meditation would you think you'd be using or feel drawn to?
I'm not really too sure. I'm gonna have to explore that.
Okay, all
I
right.
think I'll have to explore that and see what could, I'll start reading some things and, trying to find out what could be the best for me or what would be the best for me.
All right.
That's, sometimes it just takes a little bit of, sorting things out. Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
And for you.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what we're talking about here. Are you talking about music or what?
No, talking about what tools are you drawn to that you feel so have helped or helping you, or that you feel drawn to investigating to help you become more in balance, to become more connected with that higher spiritual part of yourself. And if you've already been doing some work, what type of effects and how has that affected you?
Well, I do metaphysical type reading, of all kinds, and that helps a lot.
So metaphysical type reading, what do you mean?
I mean, books like Eckhart Tolle and
Okay.
Casey's stories and things like that.
Okay.
Also, I've noticed that some music affects me in a positive way, because when I get in the car and drive around here, words come out of my mouth like a truck driver. And one thing that helps that is I get some blues going on the radio. That calms me right down. I don't care what anybody does around me. And also I paint, so when I'm in the art room, we have a music player, and I like it when we can play the panpipes. And that lets me zone out and just,
That's
really
great.
painting. And that's about all I can think of right now.
Okay, very good. What we've done is I read that to you this morning. And so we went around and I asked what resonated, hit home with you, what parts of it do you see yourself? And so we shared that, then we went around again and gave examples of some things that, how things happened, that how it made us feel in those ways. Using an example, this woman, what's your first name again? Evelyn. Had cleaning woman come over. Now she cleaned the house before the cleaning people got there. And then they came over and the woman she was a con, I'd say, more than anything, going around and telling her how things are dirty and she's running her fingers over things, but she wasn't seeing any dirt and wanted to charge her $250 to clean her house. And she listened to everything and it was making her feel bad, like, oh my goodness, is my house dirty and what, but she let her stay there and talk and say stuff and didn't say anything, then said thank you very much and let her leave and thought, not doing this. And so I asked, how did you feel? And so we gave examples about how things made us feel and different and stuff. And then we went around again about, okay, so what are you drawn toward to, I talked about the different levels of our being, and so finally we were just going around now about how, what are you drawn to that you find has helped, whether it's meditation or some other type of tool or activity or something that works with the metaphysical, spiritual part of yourself. So that's what we're doing. So you're up, Carol Ann, Mom.
So what am I drawn to?
No, but is that from that, where do you see yourself, what kind of hit home with what, where you do too much or you let people take too much, or when people give compliments, being a Leo, I don't think this applies to you, but gives you a compliment you're uncomfortable with. So,
I had to practice saying no. Is that
yeah.
what you're asking about? Because in the beginning, when I first found I could do these things, whatever you want to call them, good readings and so on, I found I couldn't say no to anyone. People come up and say, I asked you a question I want to ask you, and I didn't know how to say no, or how to say make an appointment, or I wasn't even doing that, and so I couldn't say no. So I found that I became depleted. Physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, I was just wiped out because people were constantly coming at me and I didn't know how to say no. So I learned how to do that. And I'll tell you, it's very comfortable saying no.
So when people will come up to you and they would say they wanted a reading and you felt like, you didn't want to do it, but you still said, okay, one of the things I said, where did you feel that? In your body, or how did you emotionally, where did you feel that somewhere within you?
Right in here.
Okay, so that's a power source?
Anger.
Yeah. Oh, anger?
Yeah, I was mad. Because I would never do that to somebody. So to have being taken advantage of that way, I got angry.
So what tools did you find yourself using or doing in order to overcome that?
Combination of meditation and studying psychology.
And how did you study psychology?
The psychology of the person who has the nerve to do something like that. So I can understand where they were coming from. And so then when I started saying no to them, I recognized that I was doing them a favor too, not letting them take advantage of another person.
So it was more about them than you then. You were looking at it from a different point of view of it's, instead of how could they do this to me, you turned it into what makes them tick in order to do that to somebody.
Correct. Yes.
And when you did that, how did that feel when you said no to them? And I mean, were they surprised or whatever, but how did that feel? Where did that feel inside of you, if you remember?
All over, it felt good.
Empowering.
Yeah. Yes, empowering, great word.
And what, in those early days doing that, what were their reactions? How did they respond to that?
Kind of person. Some people got angry.
And how did you deal with that with the angry people?
It's your problem.
There we go.
If you choose to get angry over being so rude, that's your problem, not mine. And then also I found ways to sidestep it, like when Mario and I were out and someone, particularly, usually a man, would say, well, I don't believe in that stuff, but here's my watch, In other words, do it for me, I don't believe it. And so I would take the watch and I'd look at my husband and I'd say, how much do you think we could get for this? And I'd put it in my pocket. And so I would try to, put a light note to it, so not to make a big deal out of it. And that worked real well. That worked very well.
That was probably shocking.
And then I just
don't care if people get mad. That's their problem, you know. I don't do that to my doctor, I don't do that to my lawyer, I don't do that to anyone who I get services or products from. I don't do that, so I don't want to offend them.
Yeah, it's their right, and it's not gonna affect your life.
Right, yeah,
So
yeah.
go out and be mad if you
That's right.
choose.
If you choose
Not
to be
taking any seconds off my life.
No, no, and they say in psychology, the first, I may have this wrong, the first 3 seconds, it's an automatic reaction, and then after 3 seconds, you're choosing to be mad. I think it's 3 seconds, but I'm not sure.
Something like that.
Yeah,
I had somebody, they came over, and so something about the book I published, and I said, well, let me show you. I want, the cover, so and so I brought it out, and I said, well, this is, and so I took it, and all they said was, well, I'll show you. And they took the book, and then, oh, this and that, well, thank you very much. And then they kept it. And I was standing there stunned. I'm thinking, at what point did I say I'm giving this to you?
that's right.
So I was a little stunned, but I go, okay, it was a friend. I go, okay, whatever. Yeah.
So you
And how did you
should've,
feel?
but that was something that you did an injustice to them and all the people coming into their life afterwards.
Well, yep,
So you should have called them out on it and said, hey, wait a minute, I never said you could have it. So give me the money if you want to keep it.
how did
I
you
did
feel?
that well, I felt stunned, first of all, and I felt like they were in power, And so when my second book came out, I thought, damn it, excuse me, Facebook, is that I'm setting this straight. So they came out and I said, well, I want to show you my second book. But I said, I'm only showing you if you want it. I go, it's this much money. And it was Simon's Journey Home Book. And then I said, well, I donate, so much money of the profit. And so I showed it to him. I said, it's blah, blah, blah. This is how much it costs. And so this is what the story is about. So, and I stood there I hovered over him. And so the second time around, I took care of it. That wasn't happening again. And I got the book back. I took it right out of, just very gently as I'm talking, very naturally, and went on to some other topics. So just slid it out of his hand. So, yes, so wasn't having that happen again.
So you have your second book out.
Simon's Journey Home, yeah. I've had that out. Simon's Journey Home.
Oh, it doesn't
Since
have to
when
do
did-
with the.
No, it's not Norse, no.
You
that's
are
not-
going to do another.
I've got a
on
book
that.
series coming out on the Norse, so
Yeah,
yes, yeah.
okay.
And that's where I'm, when we, starting in January, later January, I'm gonna start really ripping through and getting that going.
That might be a really interesting subject to do a presentation on, just all about, because obviously you've done all the research.
Yeah, and it's really weird, the
know,
stuff you come up with the
and-
Norse.
And it might be a really good presentation to hear all about the people and,
It is fascinating, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I think so, because we've done a lot of work with runes,
rooms and stuff, yes.
and that would tie in
Old
nicely with
and-
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so yeah, if everybody is interested, I'll be
So
happy
who's the
to.
Roger would-
It's, well, our election's on 7th. So if elected, Roger Bloom will be
Blum.
Blum. I knew as soon as I said that I had too many O's. Roger Blum will be our program person, and he is very, very well versed in runes and Odin and all the ancient
Mm-hmm, big
stuff.
time.
Yeah. So I'm sure he would love to have you come speak.
Okay, well, he probably
So,
would end up knowing more than me.
well,
I showed him your book, I didn't
give.
give it to him, but I showed it.
Oh, see, you didn't give it to, see, yeah. You did better than me the first time. Well, thank you. You're welcome. Okay, so, as I had said that, got that printed out, that, if anybody in Facebook land would be interested and wants a copy of that printout, that they can just send me a message and I will be happy to email it to you, the PDF of that. It's, or you can go to my website, the blog, www.meeting-ike-series.weebly.com. And go to the blog and scroll down. You can find it there. There are other blogs there. I mean, feel free to read them all. So you can do that as well.
Is
So,
there anyone that had any questions for?
well, I see the way they do now is I really didn't want to be on camera without any makeup. I can't see where things are. And it stopped before I had to redo it again.
Oh,
And I don't know how
I think
to.
it'd be great if that cleaning lady was on there and apologized.
I doubt she is, very seriously.
Now, what are you, moving, you said?
No, well,
You own a property that you rent out.
and normally I had some Canadian people that rented last year and for 6 months and they wanted to come back again this year. So they were all set, they'd already paid all their money to the rental company. And then the man found out that he had to probably have some surgery.
Oh.
So he called early enough and told them, and called me to be nice, to be kind, and I thanked him, and the, rental lady, I told her, I said, we can't keep his money, we need to give it all back. And so my neighbor across the street didn't believe that. She said, well, you should keep at least 2 months. And I said, no, I didn't feel in my heart that was the best thing to do.
Yeah.
That's the way I felt.
I agree.
And I said, I just can't. My husband and I talked it over, and he said the same thing. He said, if it was us, we would hope that somebody would be charitable enough to us, because he's not doing it purposely.
Right.
He really does, is having surgery. So, some hip surgery or something, and he's in Canada. And like you said, our healthcare system's not that great, and so it'll take some time. So we said, no problem, and we just let it go. And so my neighbor across the street happened to know somebody that wanted to come January to April. She called a friend of hers. And that was the only time that I did not have my kitchen in order. And I said, I will never do this again. I had to run over to the clubhouse for something, and I took the breakfast dishes and put them on the counter and did not empty the dishwasher and put them in. I tell my husband I have to run over to the clubhouse and I'll be right back. And, and I had told her, and she comes in my house, she opens the door, she knocks on the door, opens it up and goes, oh, here, you see, look at this place. It's really cute. It's nice. She's going through my house. Good thing the bed was made. And I said, do not do the counter in the kitchen. And I said, my husband, you see, one time I walk out of the house.
And so, would you go somewhere else then?
My house, where I live in Tennessee.
Oh, so you go to Tennessee and then.
Yeah, see, I retired. I finally retired this year.
Okay, so in regards to, I know this scared me too, is the next meeting, we won't be back because we go north for the holiday and be with family, so we won't be back in time for it to be on Facebook, but so who's interested in, she'll be here. What type of topics is anybody interested in?
Oh, you're gonna have company. When would that be?
Well, you'll be back here. She's gonna be back in town. She'll be here.
Oh, she will?
Unless somebody else wants to hold it somewhere, whatever you guys wanna
They can hold
do.
it here, but they can do the facilitating.
And it's
Yeah.
gonna be what date?
I will let you know in a moment.
January.
It's the first Thursday.
On the 21st.
January, that would be
astrology for
the 5th.
2023.
January
Do
5th.
you want me to come here and do the program that I do for metaphysics?
Yeah.
Bring over
that
for
would
the
be nice.
people here.
Yeah.
So it'll be
What is it?
astrology for 2023.
Oh, nice. Okay, so astrology for 2023.
And there won't be anybody videoing it.
Well, I can't tune in either.
No, I know.
So,
I'm gonna be doing, the numerology for 2023 too, so we can.
Maybe we can do
Combine it.
both
Gonna
at
miss
the
that.
same time, yeah. We'll do that, numerology and astrology predictions for 2023.
Oh, that'll be
Oh
interesting.
my gosh, I'm serious, sorry, I'm missing.
Okay,
that.
so what you're gonna
So,
do
and
is
if
you're
I
going
can-
to call me and put it on speaker so I can listen in.
Well,
Just make sure
or
your phones are charged.
if
Which on
I
your
can
phone?
figure out how to do that, see, before you did it on your machine and I was trying to pick it up on my machine and the two machines. But
But
if
it's
I
the
can
system,
figure out
Facebook
how to
system.
do it on my machine, on my laptop, then we can do it
Okay.
How do you do that? Do you just go into your Facebook?
I went into Meeting Ike series and did it from there, and then where it says, what update status or whatever it says, what's new, and then underneath there it says live video. I click on that, and then it will ask if you want to.
If you write your directions.
Can
it
you
should
write
be
me
able
the
to do it.
directions down so I
Sure.
can try it
Yeah.
before?
Okay.
So that I can contact you, and say, okay, let's see if this
You
will
can
work.
practice.
Yeah,
Let's
You
do
can
it.
practice and, because if you have Facebook, it's only.
yeah, I have.
It's the
Facebook.
same exact
Yes,
thing, no
you
matter
don't
what
have- it
computer
doesn't
you're
matter
on.
Whose laptop it is.
Yeah,
you know,
it's the
it'll
same
work.
exact
Right.
thing. Yeah.
So you can
Did you-
practice.
Did you give Vicky, Tiffany's?
Oh, no, I'll do that after. I don't want, it's spread live on Facebook. I'll do it privately.
Yeah.
I'll give her that information privately. So, yeah.
Question for you, Vicki. Are we in a Mercury regression or whatever?
Retrograde?
Not right now.
No.
We're in, there is a retrograde that just happened, but I don't remember which one. And I don't know what
So
it's
it's
all
not-
about. I've just, I've been away from astrology, period. So I'm just now starting to gather my stuff together so that I'm ready to do the program.
Or you don't do it anymore then.
Yeah, I do it, but I've just been doing other things
Yeah.
for the
We've
last
been making
3 or 4
beads.
months, so
Oh,
I haven't been,
bracelets.
I haven't been keeping up with things like I normally
So we're
would.
making them.
selling?
Yeah, we're gonna sell them at the, we're having
What,
the
the
metaphysical fair on, February 4th. And we're ordering these nice beads.
We're making
These are all real health,
Yes, we're
connected.
making them.
I don't know, 9 or 10 or what
Pardon?
time will it start? It's at that Heritage
It's
Room.
from 9 to 4 or 4:30.
So that's in Kings Point, Sun City Center, in the Heritage Room?
It's not in Kings Point. It's
I mean, not
in
Kings Point, Sun City Center.
City Center
Yeah.
campus in the Heritage Armstrong Room. And we will be having, in the Sandpiper Room, there's going to be free presentations that people might be interested in. Like we have, our president, Ken, his topic, I think, is switched at birth, found at 71.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, yeah.
It's a
His
fascinating
story
story.
is fascinating because he grew up always feeling like the milkman might have been his father. He always has a little
No,
horn.
this is.
And he was 71 years old when he found out he was switched at birth
Oh,
by
wow.
Yes, yes.
So it's very, very interesting, and that'll be open to all people. Anybody can go in the Sandpiper and just,
So a couple questions over, and what date is it?
February 4th,
February 4th, and it starts in the morning, goes until
9 to 4.
9 to 4, Sun City Center, Heritage and Armstrong Room. There are gonna be psychic readers there.
There'll be readers and there's, we have book sales, so all kinds of medical and spiritual books will be there for like $1, $2, $3. I mean, this is a wonderful time to stock
The
up
books
on books.
alone are just
I mean,
awesome.
we have
Really?
probably
Oh.
dollar books alone, we probably have
Oh,
400.
tons of them.
Oh my
At
God.
least.
That's
Those are
a lot of
just the
books.
ones we're charging $1 for. These are hardbacks
Nice.
or really good books.
Okay.
And then the most we'll charge is probably, there might be some combination teaching type books or something that may go for like $5, I don't know. But, we haven't got to those yet, but there'll be tons and tons of books for people to buy.
Okay.
That'll be interesting. And then we'll have all kinds of jewelry for sale there.
Oh,
Okay.
We're gonna have, zodiac pillows and banners, sun, moon, star banner type things. We'll have, a quilt, a wall hanging quilt or a baby sized quilt that is absolutely beautiful. And that will be raffled off. We'll have all the local authors, including Carol Ann Leora's.
wow.
We'll have, okay, I hadn't got a commitment.
Yeah, we didn't know if you were committing or not.
Yeah.
So these two lovely authors will have their books there, and that will be a raffle. We'll be selling tickets, and then they'll put whatever book they're interested in, they'll put in for a drawing. And so we got a lot of cool
So Chinese
things.
auction from the books.
Well, I
and
guess
stuff.
that's what they call it, yeah.
Yeah.
And Karen's in charge of how she's doing it, so
And the plus on that is that they can get the books autographed right there.
Yeah.
And the books are going to be autographed. Whatever book is given by the author will already be autographed.
So it's not personally autographed to
Not personally, and just a little hint here, I talked to a book author, and they said that do not have it personalized because it's worth more money if it's not.
That is true.
It's true.
When later. So I thought.
How
that
later,
was
like
good.
after we're not breathing anymore?
When you're not.
Oh,
But anyway, there's all
God.
kinds of cool things going on, and it'll be a great reunion after COVID, because we haven't had a fair since,
Right.
what,
Yeah.
19?
So and all this goes
All
to,
the
proceeds go to the Metaphysical
yes.
Society of Sun City Center.
Yes,
And then if people want to get a reading, they're how much?
$20 for 20 minutes,
A good deal.
and,
Very good deal.
and all the proceeds will come to us. The only benefit that a reader has is handing out their business
Yeah.
cards for later.
Okay, all right. So that's very good, and so, very nice. Okay, so,
Kings Point Riffraff has to pay $125 to go
Not
to
to
the.
go.
no, this is open. Yeah.
It's open.
Okay, so next month is going to be, what did I say? It's January 5th, which is the first Thursday of the month. And gonna try and get that aired also, and that would be 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. And so got to figure out what page or how to do it, because right now, like today, I just did the Meeting Ike series page, and so got to figure out, how to get which page it's going to be aired from on Facebook. So I'll put that. You can always contact Carol's office. It's email calieros@msn.com. And
My first reading to the 4th at 9 o'clock is already filled, so I have the rest of the morning. Anyone wants to sign up in advance.
that's for the metaphysical. Okay.
No, the first two.
First two readings.
First two.
On February 4th, Saturday, Carol Ann has booked her first 2 slots are filled. So, and if they want to pre-book, this is locals, obviously, if they want to pre-book reading, what do they need to do? Who do they need to contact for that?
I guess maybe they better email me.
Email
If they
address
want
is?
If they want a reading with you, are you gonna be reading
I
readings
don't
or you don't
know.
know? Okay, if they want
I
a
don't-
reading with Carol Ann, then they can email me, and that's at floridavicky@gmail.com.
floridavicky@gmail.com.
And that's Vicky with a Y, VICKY.
Alrighty.
Florida Vicky.
Thanks, everybody, for being here. If you're watching on the replay, don't, just go ahead and also comment, ask questions, anything. I'll go back and go through it all
Oh, for her
and
readings,
get answers
it
to
would
that.
be
So,
9:30 it'd be the
so,
10 o'clock reading.
Thanks for being here.
9:09.
Till next time. Bye.
She wants to sign up the detail.
Florida, she's 10 o'clock.
Oh, that's a different one.